Every single year, the NBA media finds a new way to discredit Nikola Jokic.
I believe that SGA is the best perimeter player in the NBA. Now let's have a bigger conversation here. Are we sure that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league? Are we sure about that?
First it was, he doesn't deserve MVP. Then it was, he's just a stat patter. Then, he's a regular season merchant who can't win in the playoffs. And now, despite putting up numbers that no one in NBA history has ever touched, people are still trying to push someone else ahead of him in the MVP race.
I get where you're coming from. I appreciate the argument. Statistically, you're absolutely right. I don't give a damn. SGA was my MVP last year. He would be my MVP this year if we were voting today. Now, that does not mean that this race isn't incredibly close.
At this point, it's not about standards. It's about refusing to give him his due no matter what he does. And just like previous years, the NBA is making the same mistake again. And it is getting ridiculous. For the last 5 years, the NBA has been ruled by a select few. Players like Giannis, Luka, Embiid, Tatum, players who haven't just played at a high level, but have led the league in impact statistically, visually, and in the win column. But no one has dominated like Nikola Jokic. 3 MVPs in 5 years, a championship, and a level of control over the game that no other player in this era has matched. The best playmaking big ever. The most complete offensive weapon in basketball. The definition of unstoppable. Scoring, rebounding, playmaking, Jokic does it all while making the game look effortless. His efficiency is off the charts. His advanced stats are untouchable. His on-court impact is unmatched. Denver doesn't just run through him, he is the system. And yet 3 MVPs almost feels low for what he's done. In 2023, Jokic was on pace to win his 3rd straight MVP. Denver finished as the #1 seed. He led the NBA in almost every advanced metric. His dominance wasn't just statistical, it showed up every time he touched the ball. Then the narrative shifted. Only a few legends have won 3 straight MVPs. He needs an all-time great season to justify it. He's stat-padding triple-doubles. The momentum flipped and the award went to Embiid. Nonetheless, Jokic responded by winning Finals MVP and leading the Nuggets to their first championship. Now, it's happening again. Jokic is having his best season ever. 29.1 points, 12.8 rebounds, 10.3 assists. A triple-double on career-best efficiency.
Way in.
Jokic gonna throw it up from way.
41.3% from 3 on more attempts than ever. He's top 3 in scoring, rebounds, assists, and steals. No one in NBA history has finished that high in all 4 categories. Mike Malone put it simply, Jokic is doing things we haven't seen before. Even Jokic himself admitted, "This is my best season." Despite this, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has emerged as the media's MVP favorite. His season has been special. His impact is undeniable. But it doesn't quite match Jokic's greatness this season. If there's any proof of just how far ahead Jokic is this season, look no further than the absurd stretch he just had. Less than 48 hours after dropping a 31-point, 21 rebound, 22 assist, triple-double, a stat line straight out of a video game, he followed it up with another historic run. Over a 3-game stretch against the Suns and Thunder, Jokic put up 90 points, 50 rebounds, and 30 assists. This level of dominance has only been recorded 4 times since the NBA-ABA merger in 1976, and Jokic owns all 4. These aren't just impressive numbers, they're unprecedented. Performances like these don't happen in today's NBA. They barely happened in Wilt's NBA. What Jokic is doing this season is so far beyond normal that the only proper comparison is a player who once averaged 50 points and 25 rebounds a game. And it's not just one insane stat line. This is who Jokic has been all season. Since the start of March, he's averaging 29.3 points, 13.6 rebounds, 9 assists, 1.6 steals, and nearly a block per game in 40 minutes a night. He's controlling every aspect of the game.
Caught in the air, finds Porter for 3.
Scoring, rebounding, facilitating, anchoring the defense, impacting winning at every possible level. This isn't just an MVP season. It's one of the greatest all-around performances the league has ever seen. But rather than getting caught up in the debate, let's break it down. How are Jokic and Shai actually playing this season? The MVP battle is fascinating because of the stark contrast in their styles. The world's best player having his best season versus a young budding superstar scorer leading the league in points on a dominant first-place team. Jokic is a 7-footer with the vision of a point guard, dictating the game's tempo and picking defenses apart with pure basketball IQ. SGA is a masterful scorer, leading the NBA with 32.8 points per game. He carves through defenses at will, gets to his spots, and lives at the free throw line. Both are the engines of legitimate title contenders. Both are lethal in the clutch. Both carry an enormous offensive load every night. Shai is averaging 33 points, 6.2 assists, and 5.1 rebounds per game. He leads the league in total points, free throws, drives per game, estimated plus-minus, and win shares. He's second in steals, second in usage rate, and ranks top 10 in true shooting percentage. His ability to dictate the flow of the offense, finish at the rim, and torch defenders from mid-range makes him arguably the most unstoppable scorer in the league. Whether he's slicing through traffic, stopping on a dime for a pull-up, or kicking it out to an open shooter, SGA is elite at every level.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander thought about the pull-up, instead blows by Murray and scores!
In isolation, post-ups, transition, and the pick and roll, he's a machine. Think prime James Harden or Kobe Bryant, but hyper-efficient. That said, the Thunder are built like an all-defensive team thriving on forcing turnovers and turning them into instant offense. They're tough without Shai, but with him, they look like a championship favorite. This is an MVP-level season by every metric. On any other year, he's a lock to win the award. But this isn't just any year. Jokic exists, and that changes everything. Let's start with the numbers. Jokic is averaging 29.1 points, 12.8 rebounds, and 10.3 assists per game, ranking third in scoring, third in rebounding, and second in assists. He's casually averaging a triple-double while leading the Nuggets to another elite season. He already has 29 triple-doubles, more than the next 3 players combined, and just posted the first 30-20-20 game in NBA history. It was also his 7th game this season with at least 15 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists, tying Oscar Robertson for the most in a season in league history. Beyond the raw stats, Jokic ranks 2nd in points in the paint, 6th in true shooting, and 4th in three-point percentage among players with at least 250 attempts.
Jokic, Curry's on him. It's a 2 for the tie.
He's also 3rd in steals, a testament to his defensive awareness and ability to disrupt plays. Nearly every advanced metric places him ahead of the pack. So the numbers aren't just great, they suggest he's having one of the greatest statistical seasons in modern NBA history. But if the stats don't sell you, the eye test should. What separates Jokic from SGA or any other superstar is how he dictates the game. His fingerprints are on every possession, every sequence, every moment that matters. The Nuggets offense doesn't just run through him, it exists because of him. And for the 10th straight season, not a single one of his teammates was selected as an all-star. But that doesn't matter because Jokic makes the pieces around him work. His MVP case isn't just about numbers, it's about how he elevates everyone around him. Role players become efficient scorers. Shooters get the easiest looks of their lives. Defenders are left scrambling as he picks them apart with passes no one else would even attempt. And it's about doing whatever Denver needs to win. Earlier this season, the Nuggets lacked three-point shooting. So Jokic stepped up, turning from a 35% shooter over his first 9 years to a 41.3% sniper. The team needed depth, so he resurrected Russell Westbrook's career, taking an aging, inefficient former MVP and making him a valuable rotation piece again. Jamal Murray thrives because defenses have to load up on Jokic. Aaron Gordon has become an elite cutter because Jokic can find him from anywhere. Michael Porter Jr. gets clean, uncontested shots because defenders collapse the second Jokic makes his move. And Christian Brown, not Giannis, not LeBron, leads the entire league in fast break points this season because Jokic's passing turns transition opportunities into guaranteed buckets.
Stop, long way pass. Jokic is out there. Give it to Gordon. Whoa!
He's not just putting up numbers, he's dictating the entire game. Scoring, passing, rebounding, he does it all. But more than that, he makes the game easier for everyone else. That's not just MVP-level impact, that's all-time greatness. His impact extends far beyond the stat sheet. The way he dictates the flow of the game, the way he makes the right play almost every time, and the way he maximizes the talent around him, it all speaks to a level of dominance that goes beyond mere numbers. Jokic doesn't just put up crazy stats. He completely reshapes the game in ways that very few players in history ever have. When you factor in everything, his statistical dominance, his ability to control a game, and his role in making his team a championship contender, there's no logical case against him. We're witnessing an all-time great in his prime, and this might be his finest season yet. That said, if voter fatigue was ever going to rob a player of an MVP, this should be the year we put that nonsense to rest. The reality is, NBA media loves a fresh storyline. Voters don't just want to reward greatness, they want variety, new narratives, a reason to shake things up. It's why we constantly hear about MVP ladders and race shifts when, in reality, the best player has been staring us in the face all season. Jokic isn't just dominating, he's redefining what an MVP season looks like. The fact that he's already won 3 MVPs in 4 years shouldn't work against him. If anything, it should highlight just how absurdly consistent his greatness is. The award is meant to recognize the most valuable performance of the season, not serve as a lifetime achievement trophy or a he's never won it before sympathy vote. Strip away the names, remove the narratives, and just look at the numbers and impact. There's no logical reason anyone else should be leading this race. Jokic has warped our perception of what's normal.
They're battling with Holmgren. Jokic spins. Another wild shot.
His stat lines, his impact, his ability to bend the game to his will, it's all become so routine that people get bored of it. But these aren't just great numbers. These are video game numbers. Even better than video game numbers depending on how your My Career is going. And if history has no precedent for what we're witnessing, then neither should this MVP race. MVP races have always been about narratives, and this year is no different. One season, it's about the best stats. The next, it's the best record. Then suddenly, it's about being an elite two-way player. Now it's about crowning a new face. The cycle keeps spinning, and just like in 2023 when Jokic and Embiid went head-to-head, the same story is unfolding again. Only this time, the momentum is all behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The betting odds say it, the NBA media says it, and the narrative is riding a wave of inevitability. If Jokic doesn't win MVP, it won't be the first time the best player in the world got passed over. If that was the only standard, LeBron would have at least 7 MVPs by now, and Jokic would already have his 4th. Maybe if Jokic was American, had a flashier playstyle, or was a more marketable superstar, this wouldn't even be a conversation. Maybe if the NBA wasn't clearly searching for its next face of the league, this race would have been wrapped up by the one true MVP of both conferences, Nikola Jokic, the king in the West and the East. Even so, when the best player on earth is having his best season, what's the argument against him? The numbers, the impact, the sheer level of dominance, it's all right there. Give Shai credit for making this a debate. He's been incredible, but there's a difference between dominant and great, and Jokic is both. He's near the top of every statistical category, carrying a roster with obvious flaws to a top 3 seed in the most competitive conference in basketball. Jokic is the best player in the NBA, and the MVP should go to the best player. Simple as that. At the end of the day, the NBA media keeps downplaying Nikola Jokic, but history won't forget what he's doing. No player has ever done what he just did, yet somehow they want to hand the MVP to someone else. What do you think? Is Jokic getting snubbed again? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content.